Welcome. Today we're going to have a little conversation about different styles of co-parenting because there actually are quite a few, okay? Specifically today, I want to talk with you a little bit about nesting, okay? Before I do that, if you're wondering about what nesting is, if you're wondering about the idea of parallel parenting, or even just what collaborative co-parenting is, first of all, that's a very common question that I hear and I see. That's part of why I made this blog and this newer edition, the video part of it. But I also have a little guide for you where I walk you through the steps to look at about how you handle conflict, what sorts of scheduling things happen, your relationship with your co-parent, to kind of sort you into these areas so that you can say like, oh, I think we could probably do collaborative co-parenting. Like, I think we can make that work. So there's a little quiz in the blog post below. Make sure you hop on that. And as always, it's super helpful when you subscribe to the blog, subscribe to the videos, YouTube channels, anything and anywhere you find me, and share it with anyone you think would find it useful. So thanks for being here. Let's get into this. So what is nesting? When people talk about nesting, they're actually referencing bird nesting. Of course, you're not birds, so you won't, don't think of yourself that way. That's not what I'm recommending. You will, however, have the metaphor works, right? So what is nesting? Nesting is the idea that one parent lives in usually the family home, okay? So you have a house, you decide you're going to go your separate ways. The kids stay in the home or the nest, and one parent stays there at a time and the other flies out. So they call it fly, get it? Bird nesting, flying, right? And then when their parenting time is when it's time to switch, that's probably the best way to say it, the other parent flies out and this parent comes back to the nest, right? Where the children stay. So it's very consistent. The kids are not switching homes. All their stuff is in one place. Parents are able to be in a familiar place, right? There's a lot of benefits to it, okay? We're going to talk a little bit about what some of the hard parts of this are and what some of the benefits are. And of course, we dive really deep into this inside of the Kids Fair First co-parenting course. But for the purposes of this blog, there's a lot of, as you can imagine, there is a lot of coordination that has to happen, okay? And a lot of collaboration and a lot of communication. And so if those things are hard for you, nesting is not going to work for you, right? If you already lost your shit when your co-parent left the dishes out, imagine how you're going to feel when you come back after being gone for 2 days and the dishes are out on the counter, right? Because that's not likely going to change. And so it does require quite a bit of collaboration and good, strong communication skills. It can be really great for little kids, babies, right? Toddlers. It can also work. I've seen it work for families who live in really, really high income areas where perhaps, or specific school districts, right? So, it might be impossible to buy in the district that you want your kids to go in. You guys agree you don't want it to pull them out of that school. So we keep the house and one person has an apartment that's, outside of that district and therefore much more affordable, right? We live in a very expensive housing market. And so it is common that I see parents kind of toy with this idea just because the cost of two people purchasing a home in the same area could be really hard for some families and is not possible for all families. And so sometimes it works that way. It can also work if you have just a really solid friendship, right? If you're a couple that's like, we get along great, we really love each other, we're really good friends, like nothing about that is going to change. We just don't want to be married anymore, right? Now, hearing myself say that, it's very obvious, I would think, that that's not a lot of people that find me, at least. And that might not be you at all, and that's okay. Of course, it's okay. This probably isn't going to be the right fit for you because it does require so much support in between times and so much collaboration. Who's getting laundry? Who buys the groceries for that week? Who starts the coffee in the morning? Like all these little things. Did you take the trash out? Like it's, you're running a household together just from two separate places. Okay. I hope that helps you understand nesting a little bit. Super excited that you're here. Again, let me know if you have any questions about this. And if you're curious to learn more about it, please do hop on that quiz. It's free. Takes you maybe 5-10 minutes, gives you a lot of good little information about your style and the next steps once you've sort of identified, like, we want to do this or we don't want to do this. Okay. Thanks so much for being here. I'll see you in the next video.